This is Simon Torres, Arsenal supporter of Charm City Gooners. You are listening to DU Football Show, and I'm here to tell you that it could be worse. You could be an Everton fan.
Pretty good fucking week for me. Thank you very much, Simon.
Yeah, well, you also know what? We're not going to hear from him for a while.
Oh yeah?
Rumor is he's going to try up to play up front.
Oh, no shit. Well, you know what? Like the peaches to my herb. There's one perfect fit, and sugar, this one is it. We're both so excited because we're reunited. Yeah. Let's start the show.
We're going to get dinged for that.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, back in the saddle again with four women that all disrespect them, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. And that's one thing from the interwebs I have to mention, and a cheers to Brody for it. When Mel put up the graphic that I was coming back today, Brody, first comment on there was the quad father. And I am ashamed of myself for not having thought of that, but well fucking done, man.
Yeah, there you go.
I did for about 45 minutes after I saw it speak to my wife in that voice, you know.
Now, the thing is that there's 5 women, and I said only 4 disrespect you. The question is we know it's the 3 newest born. Is it the wife or the eldest?
What?
That actually likes you?
No, Avery loves me.
Mm-hmm.
Avery is all about daddy. Skylar give a fuck who you are.
Right.
She doesn't know nothing yet. Little dummy.
Give me milk and hold me.
Yeah. She doesn't care who it is. Avery actually does like me. Tegan favors me for sure. Of course, it's been me and her whole life, you know. And Carly likes me about 60% of the time.
Speaking about being liked about 60% of the time, on the ones and twos, we got producer Mel. How you doing over there, producer Mel? Am I on the 60 side or the 40 side tonight?
You're going about 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 works.
It's about the best I can ask for.
Hey, you better be careful, man. You get Musk in here to clean this operation up.
You know what? I'm ready for DEI to come take my job. I'm way too woke for this.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry. Oh, no, I don't. We're working at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. And you can check us out wherever you get your podcast.
This is how you know he's aroused that I'm back.
And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night.
He does not want me doing the contact information anymore.
Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It's at Doge. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias, and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. You can also, I think the X is going away, isn't it?
X is probably going away.
Yeah. You could X us for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we won't exit no more.
About getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram us, do all that shite, you know. It's fun.
Instagram.
Get involved.
You more shit for me to do because you never answer it.
Well, I look at stuff.
Yeah.
I give a laugh emoji from time to time.
You look at titties is what you look at.
I'll look at titties. That's Instagram's algorithm, bro. It's not me. I swear.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, you are back at a perfect time because we are breaking the top 10 of Whisky Advocates' top 20 whiskeys. Please, good sir, take it away.
I only come back for the good shit, you know. This is number 10, Bernheim Original Barrel Proof Batch A224. This comes in at 62.6% by volume or 125.2 proof. I just did that math in my head. Stay in school, kids. Should run you around $65, probably a little bit more, of course, if you can find it, because this was from the first batch that was released this year.
Right.
So there might not be a ton left. The panel rated it 94. It is a wheater. No, actually, it's a wheat whiskey. Straight up wheat whiskey. Sorry, whiskey. Yeah. Of course, Bernheim. I knew that. I used to sell it. Heaven Hills Barrel. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Lindemuth gave you the blurb. Heaven Hills Barrel Proof renditions over their core bourbons, like Larceny and Elijah Craig, have always punch above their weight. In fact, both have claimed the title of our Whiskey of the Year. Starting in 2023, they applied that same winning formula to their wheat whiskey Bernheim, the first of 2 annual releases in 2024. This follows the standard mash bill of 51% wheat, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. Malted barley, of course, we know adds body and depth to a whiskey.
Also gets the party started with the yeast. Yeast really likes barley more so
barley,
than corn
sugar,
and rye and wheat.
Yep. And I've also oftentimes said that I don't really like wheaters because they taste thin. That's what we mean when we say they add body and depth is from barley. That's what we're looking for. And includes barrels that were aged 7 to 9 years. The aroma is driven by sweet vanilla, while flavors of fruit, root beer, spices, and generous oak, a hallmark of the barrel proof lineup, are nicely integrated.
It is quite lovely. Go ahead and leave that open because I'm going to ask you some questions about while you were gone. But let's talk about this one first, and then we'll take a few extra minutes to kind of talk about your thoughts on the other whiskeys thus far. It's fantastic. Heaven Hill, they're absolutely right. Everything that they do on the barrel proof side is always a fucking home run. That Elijah Craig they spoke of was great. The Larceny was great. This is no exception. Wheat whiskeys are fun. There aren't a lot of them, you know. I still will stand on this top by myself is that Buggy Whip wheat is hands down the best wheat whiskey out there in the market. I think it's better than Bernheim as a whole. But this particular bottle is real fucking good. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, it is. It is very good. I've how many times have I said on here that you need some other grain with a wheater to be present, to give it that depth of flavor. But you also, in a lot of cases, need proof. So Weller is one of the brands I sell, right? And we've talked about it a fair few times. The Weller Reserve is kind of shit, actually. It's not very good.
Right.
You got to get to, but it is a wheater. Wheated bourbons, in my opinion, and that is corn and wheat. They don't have any rye or barley in their mash bill.
Some of them have a little barley. Okay. Makers put some barley in.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Weller specifically.
Right.
But what I've always said is that it needs proof or it needs age. It needs something to give it some depth, something to make it bigger.
Right.
Because it just tastes like. Perfect example is cereal. Right. When you have the perfect ratio of cereal to milk, that's a Scotch. For me.
Right.
Right? That's a Scotch or a very well-balanced bourbon. Yeah. It doesn't leave anything mouthfeel-wise to be desired at all. Wheated whiskeys, for me, wheat whiskey as a whole, and wheated bourbon tend to, for me, be that kind of grainy-ass milk at the end of when you're done eating the cereal.
Okay.
Which, it kind of tastes like the cereal. But it's mostly milk.
Got it. Okay.
So it lacks that balance that you crave, and proof and age help that. It gives it a bit more, and I think this is excellent because of that. That's a very high proof for a wheat whiskey. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's very, very good.
And it doesn't drink as hot as it is. Mel, what do you think? You've been over there sipping on it.
I got the graininess, a little bit hotter than last week's whiskey, but I'm enjoying it. Nice, soft front.
Yeah, that's what a wheat is. Wheat is going to be relatively neutral. There's going to be a little bit of sweetness, but not a ton of sweetness. Just because corn's going to be comparative to bourbon, by the way, is what I'm saying that because bourbon is very sweet. So, Mr. Graham, kind of going back over since you've been gone, because you only had the first two with me. Now, everybody, let it be known that every single week, Mr. Graham did receive a delivery. He has drank every single one of these whiskeys. Yep. He typically drank it on Monday night while we were doing the show. He sat down and had himself a glass. So kind of going through everything, just like quick little synopsis. Bushmills, like just go right down, go, I like this one, this one, you know.
The first two that we tried together, they were fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't, particularly blown away, but I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
Bushmills I thought was decent.
Yeah.
I think the gingerbread stout offered the most complexity. Number 17, the Virginia Distilling Company. I also a bit partial to it. I do sell that brand currently.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by that
but
one.
I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
It was a local brewery collaboration and a barrel finish for them. The Redbreast was good. I usually am not disappointed by anything Redbreast offers, but does it deserve to be on the list?
Also, the ticket price for me is a bit high for what it is. I mean, it's the Kentucky Oat was number 2. It was well deserving of number 2. This one's pretty much the same damn thing. It's just from a different region, but it's new oat.
Right.
It's the same thing for the most part.
I thought the Angel's Envy was fine. Didn't knock my socks off. So for the price, is it worth it?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Right.
I don't mind port barrel finished bourbons. I know you're not a fan.
Not a huge fan.
Typically,
no.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, being at number 12, you're starting to get into the top half of this table. You want it to start curling your toes up,
right.
and it fell flat of that for me. Kind of same thing with the Knob Creek.
Yeah,
it's like meh.
And Knob Creek's not terribly expensive. It's readily available. So for what it is, like the fact that it's a readily available, affordable bottle, like I'm happy with it being on the list, and I'm happy that I drank it.
I would have put 14 and 15 above Knob Creek easily.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Easily, probably above Angel's Envy, to be honest.
How sneaky good was that fucking Compass box?
It was decent,
and that's going to be one of their core 4 run of the mill on the shelf kind of like. I was like, all right, finally, like, not a fucking peat bomb iodine fucking thing, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I really enjoyed the Ardbeg.
That too, after I just bashed overly peaty whiskeys, but like for me, barley is what port is meant for. Like, and especially after we had just had the Angel's Envy, and then to have the Ardbeg, and you're like, that's the grain that should be seen.
Yeah, but peatiness in general, you would imagine port not going well with that. Right. Because of all the desserty kind of flavors and
but it worked.
Of port, but it worked very well, and it took just a touch of the iodine off, and it softened the smoke a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't mind heavily peated whiskeys. That doesn't bother me. Like, I really loved the Wee Beastie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very good, but it took just enough of that smoke off to make it a bit more approachable. I still will only smoke those sitting around the fire when it's cold out, which is when I drank this, actually.
That's that's how I am about peated whiskeys. It's got to be right place, right time, and it's cold weather. So, like, right now, it's awesome to be drinking uber peaty whiskeys, and I'm fucking down with it.
Yeah.
But I can't drink them year round like I know other people can.
Even normally, like, I mean, I could drink them year round. Wouldn't necessarily enjoy it year round.
Right.
But they... It took away from the couple of negative qualities. After about 3 glasses or so, your tongue starts to numb a bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's overwhelmed by smokiness. This took that overwhelming nature of the smokiness off. It just cut it just a touch to make it really enjoyable and really approachable.
Yeah.
Again, I do enjoy a heavily peated whiskey, but I'm only having 2 glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pouring a 3rd or 4th glass. I'm switching to something else.
Yeah.
I want that warming comfort smoke blanket. And then I want to be able to kick the sheets off in the middle of the night and turn the fan on. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, the last time that we got snow, because we had just recorded the show, I had just had that Ardbeg on the show. I totally wanted to fucking kill that bottle.
Yeah.
Totally, because it fit.
Or when I'm smoking a cigar.
Yeah,
is the other time I absolutely want to smoke it with.
Cool. Well, glad to get your recap on all of that. And obviously the rest of the way, it's you and me there, Killer. So what else does one have to do?
If I remember correctly, we always have to drink responsibly.
That's right, my good friend. We have to open with Wednesday. It was the final Merseyside Derby at Goodison Park. that saw the grand old lady sent out in proper fucking fashion. Everton 2, Liverpool 2. This was a right, proper fucking derby, dude. Goodison was jumping.
So my first two sentences are, what a game, a real derby game.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it was. It seems like the only two actual derbies that have been getting played are yours and ours.
Yeah.
Everything else has been pretty tepid
Yeah.
from pretty much everyone else that I've seen over the course of the season. This was the intensity alone was enough to keep you on the edge of your seat. The place was jumping. Everybody was all about it. Liverpool fans, throwing up, attempting to unfurl a banner that I'm sure referenced 6 Champions Leagues.
Right.
And couldn't work out how to get it unfurled, which was enjoyable.
Maybe somebody slipped.
Yeah, could be.
And here's the thing. For being the club that has, I believe, now lost 3 total matches in this year. They've lost 1 in the Champions League, 1 in the FA Cup, and then 1 in the league to Forest at the start of the year. They didn't have control of this match. They didn't look like themselves. Everton made it really fucking difficult, and what Everton was doing was fucking working.
Well, that's what I was going to say to follow up the intensity bit. Some of the football that was on display did not live up to standards.
Oh no, it wasn't a particularly great game.
David Moyes said it in the post match, the Moisea, as he's being referred to. My favorite picture so far has been a picture of the new stadium with the Irish Sea there, and it says the Gulf of Moyes.
I've seen that one too. Fucking
That was
beautiful.
pretty funny. That was pretty good. Glad we're tackling the real problems. Just efficiently getting things done. The other thing that was very funny about this for me, just besides some of the sloppy play, because some of it was a bit comical at times, everyone seemed to be emotional on both sides, which does not lead to the machine like that we've been accustomed to from City, for instance,
Right.
where the occasion gets to no one and you just robotically go about doing your business. I like that the emotion is still involved in it, in like I said, basically just our 2 derbies,
Right,
essentially.
precisely.
But it was massively on display, and rightly so, on its own on Wednesday night, where you didn't have any other football to worry about. It was just this. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it was must watch. It was, even for the neutral, it was like, I gotta watch this.
Oh, for real. And again, the only other thing I found very funny about this was David Moyes' appearance. So, Mel, I'm not sure if you saw any of the game or post match, but David Moyes' hair.
Yes.
I know I'm pot calling the kettle black, was a bit askew
It was very intense during the match.
for a lot of it. Yeah. He also looks quite old.
No, he just looks very transparent.
So, do you know those videos that go around the interwebs of like people helping homeless people?
Yes, I have seen those.
Like specifically the ones that are done by barbers.
No, I've not seen
on,
those.
Like former Vietnam vets.
Are you saying
kind of
that
thing.
he like
is the after?
Oh, well,
like
at least he's not the before.
It's like Moshiri found him, or not Moshiri. Who are the new people?
The Firkin group.
The Farkin.
What a freaking good idea.
The Farkins found him, like
fucking war.
just big beard,
Yeah.
long hair, disheveled,
Like
outside
Dave
of
Letterman.
outside of Goodison Park.
Right.
Brought him in, did the glow up, trim, cut like he went on the Facebook
Oh, there you
videos,
go.
and shoved him out there. He looks like the after of one of those rescue a homeless man barber videos. No good.
I love your commentary. I'm so glad you're back.
First goal for Everton. That's something Liverpool does to people, not Everton does to Liverpool.
Yeah.
The like catch them off guard, quick pass, composed from Beto. I mean,
But
composed.
it was a
from Beto.
fantastic opening of his body. I mean, the awareness. There were 2 similar goals scored this weekend. This was the one that was just between Allison and Robertson, right? Or was that a different finish that I'm thinking of?
It was him and Konate.
Between somebody else. Him and Konate.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was them. He just squeezed it just between them first time. Yeah. It was excellent.
And then he did it later on. We'll talk about it in Osa, where he just kind of squeezed it past Henderson as well because he scored almost the identical goal against Palace.
So it was him both times. Okay,
Yeah,
that is the other one I'm thinking of. Yeah. But this one was between the two players.
What seems so funny is Salah was, for the most part, neutralized, except for twice. Both of them led to goals.
Oh, but that's all he needs, though, right?
His assist was fucking perfect.
You've got to say, since City has fallen off so much, Saka's been injured. Basically, have to say Mo Salah's been the player of the season so far. Besides maybe Chris Wood's in the conversation, but
yeah, maybe.
That's all he needs is 2 chances.
Mm-hmm.
You can neutralize him all game, but it happened to us. Mm-hmm. Fucking Lewis Skelly, had him marshaled the entire game.
No.
Excuse me, Calafiore had him marshaled the entire game, or Timber, whoever it was, went off with cramp. Lewis Skelly comes in, and 1 chance down the field, fucking 2-2 draw all of a sudden.
Right.
It's like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's basically what happened to y'all is a little solid sucker punch.
And, like I said, that pass to McAllister was perfect.
Inch perfect.
And
a fucking great header as well. I mean, he still had a little bit to do when that ball came to him.
The commentary team tried to put it all on Pickford, and typically I'll say when a goalie's done something wrong, he didn't even fucking know it was coming, man. The reason why he's sliding on his knees into the goal, because it was such a late reaction, He's expecting his defenders to get to it. They didn't get to it.
Yeah.
McAllister wasn't perfectly.
McAllister wasn't very far out either.
Yeah, he dinked it perfectly, and he's just in no man's land. Yeah, should he have dove a right? Sure, but he wasn't ready for it. He didn't know it was. He didn't know it was there.
No, and that happened. I think the goal was ultimately ruled offside at the weekend for Liverpool, but Mo Salah did that again.
Yeah,
where he uses the defenders really well. Right, this was him actually taking the shot, but he unsighted the goalkeeper with
their defender.
Defender. Like the way he cuts inside and the way he's able to bend the ball around somebody. He did that with the cross. Pickford thought Tarkowski was getting to it. He can't get to it. He stretched full neck, everything, couldn't get there. And McAllister with a deft little flick, which he has been known to score a goal or two, even with his head despite his height. And it was, by the time that happens, being 8 yards out max, and Pickford's body weight and everything else, because he's moving as well, trying to. There's no way he's getting to that.
It was a little off-putting how just much the commentary team was just like, oh, he got it completely wrong, and it was like, yeah, he didn't. It was
not a lot he can do there.
Right, exactly.
I don't think.
Now we have to go ahead and bring up the elephant in the room, someone who you're a huge fan of. Because what he likes to do is when he officiates games, he likes to stand in the middle of the field and go, me, 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 me.
The new Mike name.
Me, 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 me. Oliver had zero control of this match and was
shown itself at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, and then the way he was handing out cards, I love McAllister goes in on Jesper Lindstrom, spikes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The commentating team got it wrong. They were like, oh yeah, McAllister got a card for that. No, he didn't. Lindstrom got a card for complaining about it. Like, the motherfucker put his spikes in his fucking shin.
Yeah.
Like, nowhere near him.
Was it Konate that could have been sent off in this game?
No, that was that's this weekend. That was this Wolves. Weekend. Bradley.
It was Bradley in this one.
But here's the funny thing. Like, that first one was a foul, but it probably wasn't a yellow. And then Decore's reaction to it, which did ultimately get Decore sent off, because he reacted down the field and fouled Bradley. Bradley jumped up in the air and grabbed the ankle and did the whole cell thing. It wasn't that hard of a foul. Those two shouldn't have been yellow cards. But then, like, Idrissa Gueye was on a yellow, and he grabbed hold of McAllister. Probably should have been a second yellow.
Right.
Bradley definitely hit a hard foul. Should have been a second yellow. Like, we've seen this happen a lot for Liverpool, where that guy should have gotten a second yellow, and then they're able to sub him off just like that and get him off the field. But he had zero control. But all this is going on, and it feels like, you know what? Everton's probably going to see this fucking thing out. And then
Well, y'all did a great job of stymieing after they equalized. You did a great job of stymieing the game.
Yeah. And then
just making it stodgy. They were not able to press or take advantage of their momentum and press as you would have expected them to do when they finally got going.
And then when they did put
y'all were
pressure on us, we answered it. Like, we really bossed the middle of the field against them. We did like, as always, Idrissa Gueye had a really fucking good game.
You've got some canny operators in there, and the heart of Liverpool's midfield, despite it having a World Cup winner in Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch in it, they are still both quite young.
But
in terms of the grand scheme of things, like they're both experienced,
and you got a motor like Decore and someone who's everywhere,
and also
like
a shithouse, and also a shithouse like Decore. But Idrissa Gueye's covering ground like it was the title win N'Golo Kante for Leicester.
The joke we always like to make: 2/3 of the world covered by water, the other third covered by Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah,
like it's just that's where he's fucking everywhere
for real. Yeah,
and. It seemed
I heard
like
he's here. He's there. He's every fucking where. This is what I've heard. Is that we're gonna get dinged for that too?
Yeah, probably.
Sweet.
Now,
come for us.
Yeah. It seems like they're gonna get through it, and then one small mistake, and who's there to put it in the back of the net?
Mo Salah.
It's like, and it happened, and you're just like. Shit.
I like the glow up he's had. Speaking of hair changes and shit, I like the glow up he had, shaving off the kind of weird let it go fro, and making it this fucking tidy, gorgeous little fade.
Funny you should say hair. Taylor Thompson goes, all that time off and you didn't change your hair?
No. What did I do that for? This is hot. Bitches love this.
Yeah. Everybody. Welcome, bitch. Of course you love it. Oh, man. And it really, but here's the thing. Everton fucking responded. They kept fucking pushing. They didn't let up.
This is what the nature of the derby is, right? This is what it should be. And never say die. Let's fucking go.
Up until that point, I've seen that ball that hit Konate's arm be called a handball. I've seen it called a handball.
I don't think it should have been, but
honestly, I'm glad it wasn't, because this is too big of a stage to let it be decided on something like that, right?
Yeah.
But Decore put one off the pipe, missed one on a header. Beto
should have scored that fucking header as well.
There was so really
Beto worked his fucking socks off in this game.
I don't know how he's still standing, because that's all he's been doing since he's been playing is fucking running his ass off, and there's nobody to sub in for him, so he has to play 90 minutes. And it felt like Everton had done everything right. And here it comes. This is going to be it. This is going to be the end of it all, right? We're going to fucking end up
2-1, right?
We're going to lose, and
That's
it's going to be 41 wins for us, 42 wins for Liverpool. And the Liverpool faithful start singing, "We won the league at Goodison Park. We won the league at Goodison," right? To fuck with us. And 5 minutes get put up for injury. There is, at about the 94th minute, there's a head-on-head collision. That has it paused out for a few minutes. You come to find out later, Pickford flat out said to Oliver, how much? And he said 2.5. And then in the 97th minute, by the way, under the 2.5 that Oliver said. So anybody that wants to bitch about the fucking clock, you can suck all of my dick. James Tarkowski rips it in the back of the net. And the Gladys Street goes fucking apeshit. Fucking smoke flares, people running on the pitch. One supporter grabs the flag and decides, I'm taking this with me.
Yeah, and it got it snatched from him by a steward, which is pretty funny. Who the fuck? He's 21 years old. I don't even know. What's his squad number? 42. Brilliant. Tim
Irabogam, T.I. The one guy we got from...
Irabogam.
Yeah, the guy we got from Aston Villa at the start of the year.
Never heard of him. T.I. is what everyone calls... He's the rubber band man.
Yeah, we call him T.I.
He's the rubber...
That little flick on?
Wild as the Taliban.
Yeah. that little flick on. Yeah, that was pretty great, wasn't it?
It's intense.
And Tark, I mean,
what a hit. He finally put all of the energy that he uses to smash other people into smashing the ball. That was very impressive.
And then
Allison didn't even move until the ball had already rippled the roof of the net.
And then, of course, there's the VAR check. And you're like, oh, fuck.
They got to check it. Fine.
Right.
We're used to it. Come on.
But then after they checked for the offsides, then you could see, because they're showing they're literally just going like, there's got to be something. We have to have something.
They did check like away. 4 different things.
We need to take this away from them. They can't have this. Yeah. Evertonians can't have nice things. What the actual fuck? And finally, it's allowed. It's 2-2. Ball goes up to midfield. Long kick down the field. Tarkovsky clears it away. Whistle blows. And the final Merseyside Derby at Goodison Park ends on a 2-2 draw.
Yeah. Protecting the fact that they don't own your stadium.
Right. I do want to go back to one thing, but the shit ain't over, is it now, Mr. Graham?
No, this is for me when the fun started.
I'll go back to the one thing I loved is there's a video out there of like Slot losing his mind when on the touchline when Tarkovsky scores
because there's 97 minutes on the clock.
And you see him losing his mind, yelling at the fourth official, Moyes celebrating, and in the very, very far background, all you see is this bright neon green, 2 knees, Jordan Pickford sliding on the ground in the background going, ew! Like, way off in the distance, right at the end of the video. Nice. I mean, right at the end of the video, Jesse, you're like, oh, pick. Going right.
Yeah.
Brilliant. As the game ended, Decore, who has been a shithouse the entire match.
It's been a shithouse his entire career.
Hey,
be honest.
He is right in front of the Liverpool supporters. He turns right around and just hand on the ear, fucking.
Which I love. Give it to him. That's fantastic.
Right at them.
Yeah.
For me, if it's in your building, fucking 100%. If that was at Liverpool and they had beat us at the death, and Robertson was standing right in front of the Everton supporters and wanted to do that, go right the fuck ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Go right the fuck ahead.
You've been giving him shit all game. He's giving you one back, right. And he deserves to be able to.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up. I was going to save it for D-back, but I should bring it up now, I guess, because it'd be weird to re-reference it. Regardless of what you think about it, because I prefer the shithouse behavior. I like that. He's not doing it because he's black. It's not worse because he's black. Right. It's none of the racist things that everyone was talking about it, and he doesn't deserve racial abuse because he gave you some shit.
Right, precisely.
Shut the fuck up.
And
just don't be a cunt.
And I don't hate Curtis Jones's reaction to it. Now,
I don't hate that either.
He's a boyhood academy. All he knows is Liverpool. That's his fucking club. That's his blood. It's his heart. I get it. I would just say as a manager, I'd be pissed at you because, dude, keep it fucking together. Like,
keep your head.
Keep your fucking head. There's no need. Like,
but I also still don't mind it. He hasn't been starting anyway.
Right. No.
So I also still don't necessarily mind it because it does show a desire, and it shows
some gumption. Yeah.
Some gumption, so that you care, which would endear him to the supporters even further.
Right.
Again, local lad, came up through the academy. Fine. No problem there. They already love him. It's that kind of stuff that keeps you going, right? That which I'm completely fine with that reaction. I'd have done something similar. It's that when a commander, back then it was a Redskin. What was it, a pick six, and he went and knelt in the star.
Yeah.
And got fucking creamed. For it. That was the same thing. I don't mind you protecting that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I would expect you to do that. If you just rolled over like a bitch, I'd be.
It was a right fucking proper derby. That's what it was. It's what it should be.
It's completely fine.
Like, zero issues with it.
Right. We're worried about this little kerfuffle. Dirk Kuyt once drop kicked somebody in this game.
Yeah.
So things could have been worse.
Yeah.
Relax.
And each one of those guys got a yellow, which meant a red because they were already on yellows, which I'm perfectly fine with. That's fucking how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. And what's wild to me, just to further illustrate why the Liverpool supporters in this situation are cunts, is because of the racial abuse. But Curtis Jones is of mixed race. So you're giving a black guy shit for being a shithouse, and then somebody comes and be's violent on the back of that, but he's a saint. The fucked up nature of your argument is what I'm saying.
Precisely.
Nothing happens because someone's black or white or whatever they are.
Slot and his assistant both
because they're shithouses just in general.
And of course, the Dutch tulip was, mortified by it all and angered and upset and in the ref's face the whole time. I'm amazed he didn't get a yellow card for it. And then, for somebody,
I can understand being incensed at the time. Because, again, emotions are high. It was a hard-fought game. It was this, that, the other. The 5 minutes are on the board, and how many times does somebody go down in injury time and they don't add extra time? Right. I mean, we see that a lot.
Right.
So when you look up and you see, oh, shit, the referee's actually doing the right thing, there's 97 minutes on the clock, that's something I can complain about.
Right.
Right? And have some sort of precedent. There's a lot of games where they say 5 minutes, somebody goes down for, 80 seconds, and then they still blow up on 95 minutes.
I think the problem there was it was already over 95 minutes when they finally got back to playing again, and I think that's why.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't care that they're mad about the time, and they're right to try to complain about it. I mean, a part of our sport is complaining to the referee, try to get one over on your opponents.
Right, of course.
It's part of the game. Yeah. It's sad sometimes, but it is what it is. So I like the fact that Slot got sent off. I think that shows that he cares. Yeah. I think that shows, and it also, anybody giving Michael Oliver shit via the right channels, I'm fine with.
Yeah, and
we don't need family death threats. We don't need things tend to in football escalate past what they should be. But call him a wanker and fucking deal with it, But again, calling somebody's race out in the way of decore, and then we're sending death threats to Michael Oliver's house. Arsenal supporters did it as well. Yeah. I'm calling them out also here.
Of course,
that there's no need for that. So just say Michael Oliver's a wanker and fucking chant his name in the stands and make his job harder.
And Everton has been charged. Liverpool has been charged. Slot has been charged. Yeah. That's the reason why you saw Slot on the sideline this weekend, because they have the opportunity to appeal the charge. But next game, you may not see him on the sideline because he's finally been charged with his red card and is going to serve.
If you appeal, it pauses that process while they go to the appeals. The danger in appealing, I think it's the same for managers. Is I know for a fact about players, if it's deemed to be a frivolous appeal, right? So say we play each other on a Wednesday.
Right.
Should be straightforward. Arsenal wins, no problem. But I got a fucking red card to Gabriel. But I got City at the weekend. Well, let's just appeal it. Right. That way he can play.
Right.
But don't appeal it till Friday because they won't meet till Monday afternoon.
Right.
Right? The disciplinary tribunal won't meet, so Gabriel will be available for that. So what they've put in place, this has been for a while, if they deem it to be a frivolous appeal, like if you look at the footage, that's probably a red, right? Then you can get games added to that player's suspension.
Right, because you did that.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's the same for managers. So it's all going to depend on Mike. Again, me. It's all about Michael Oliver's report and what he said in it about what Slot said to him.
I'm going to save the final question for the next segment, but I did want to say I thought it was mighty fresh of the Dutch tulip. I'm going to silence everybody for the Dutch tulip. That he had the gumption to call it our cup final after the match was over, and for a team that seems to be so professional, they sure do seem to do a lot of fucking complaining, don't they? On to the weekend. The Gunners now have a number, and that number is 7. And Liverpool now have a finish line. Arsenal 2, Leicester 0, Liverpool 2, Wolverhampton 1. You also have another number, Graham. That number is 0, as in 0 healthy fucking strikers.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It was a boring game.
Oh, it was such a boring
overall,
game.
It was not well. The storyline is the only reason it's in this segment. It's also in this segment because I told you I wrote a joke.
Yes.
I'm losing confidence quick.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Arsenal Havert's a problem? Marie not think so.
Fade. Mel's not impressed at all.
That's how bad the game was.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. And now I will say I did find...
Our front line,
yeah,
the tallest player in our front three was 5'9".
Jesus Christ.
Yet we kept hoisting crosses in like it was going out of style.
By the way, sorry, Russ. The one thing
pitiful.
I find a great deal, a bit of humor in, is that United and whatever the hell that manager's name is decided one time to
Gru.
Right.
You ever heard him speak?
Yeah.
He sounds like Gru from the Minions,
Yes,
the
I
evil
know
doctor.
that, yes.
Yeah.
That he put Manu up top, a defensive midfielder at the 9, and it didn't work because, of course, it didn't. Arteta puts a defensive midfielder up top, and he scores a fucking brace. I did find great humor in that, like a shit ton of humor in that.
Genius, bro. Can't hold back genius. Okay.
There is an agreement.
At least that's what Chancellor Musk told me.
You said you wanted to make about that because there's, like I said, there's not much else to really say about this game. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask you, what poison do you want? Do you want the OG?
Oh, regular
Okay.
OG. I mean, it's the perfect game to come back to having that issue,
Right.
of no fit strikers, because Leicester are that bad, right? So you can take this game to experiment a little bit. Now, Trossard played in a false 9 for Brighton under Graham Potter a lot.
Yes, he did a lot.
As long as Arteta can work out the balance in that system, we can play like a proper football match in that system. No problem, right? The question is a lot of the people that we have available, like Raheem Sterling, still hasn't scored a goal yet.
Right.
Even at Chelsea, played fairly well at the beginning, but towards the end under Pochettino, we saw him kind of feature less and less.
Right.
I don't know that he still has it. We haven't seen him score goals on a regular basis for probably 18 months. And even then, it was way less production than it was at City.
True.
So I'm not sure that he's going to be up to snuff to do it. That smacks of, let's get an experienced head in that's won things, and Arteta knows him anyway, right? From his time at City. Arteta's time at City. So that smacks of like, let's just get another proven winner in.
Right.
Be good in the dressing room. Chelsea's paying 75% of his wages, and we didn't have to pay a loan fee.
Right.
Why not sign him?
Right.
With what do we got? We're on the hook for $85,000 a week. Fine,
And
no
also,
problem.
And also, right now, if you didn't have him, you'd have 2 kids on either side of Trossard.
I got 4 kids, man.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You have too many kids. Hey, Graham, are you done having kids yet? For fuck's sake.
Wanyeri is 17.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought he played brilliantly in this game. I think he was probably our biggest bright spot, to be completely honest with you. But it was a good game to come back to experiment, to do things, to try things. You got all 3 points. The false 9 thing wasn't really working. Yeah. I think Fulham, I think, have this problem as well. Arsenal are a little bit better at actually accomplishing the task. But I think both teams kind of look past, like they have this chip on their shoulder, and they look past games they should win. I don't think that's Arteta's fault. I do think it's Marco Silva's fault. We'll come on to
it's fair
to that. But I think it's more the kind of ego of the players and where they expect themselves to be, where they have these off days against teams they should be beating. I think that system can work. I think that system does work. I think that's when we were missing Odegaard, we were horribly unbalanced in midfield trying to fix that. Missing our entire front line with Wanyeri fit, with Trossard fit, with Sterling fit, we're still worse, but we're still balanced as a team.
Fair enough.
Right? Like I said, it was a good game to come back to. Leicester didn't offer fuck all. Raya made 2 routine saves, and that was basically it. I mean, Arsenal were able. It was a training game.
Are you ready to come over to my side of the fence now and agree that Leicester are going down? Like, they're not good.
Yeah,
they're not good.
under Cooper, I thought they probably had a fighting chance because we saw him navigate that with Nottingham Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Van Nistelrooy, unproven as a manager in England, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually had picked up half the points that Ruben Amorim has picked up in the 2 games he was in charge of.
Right.
And picked up less than that with Leicester.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been bit by a little bit of the injury bug as well, but I'm not sure he knows his best 11 yet at Leicester. They arguably, I think, have the best squad of the 3 promoted teams, but they cannot put it together.
And I don't think any 3 of them are good enough to stay up.
But I think it's the players that are rebelling against the manager. I don't necessarily think it's Rude's problem.
All right, keeping it rolling. Reds go up quickly. They go up quickly, and they seem to be well in control, but they got a bit fortunate. It's a penalty, but a penalty?
So I don't think it is a penalty.
It's the softest penalty ever.
It's more of a penalty than the other one.
Yeah.
That was reviewed.
Right.
The other one, was a Jota running through.
I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Because I have a thought on that, too.
It's more of a penalty than that.
Right.
But I still think it's minimal fucking contact.
Yeah.
He's looking for that. He's going down prior
to... more like Diaz was going into the foul more so than the foul was happening to him.
Diaz. Absolutely right.
And then you top that off with just a few moments later down the field, Konate already on a yellow card. And I talked about this in the Derby. It also happened last
with
year.
Bradley, yep.
It happened last year in the Derby with Konate as well at Anfield, where he was on an early yellow. Definitely did a foul because that foul on Cunha, that's a fucking second yellow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
been,
undoubtedly. I mean, that's not
Should
even
been,
debatable. He didn't even have an eye on the ball, and he went through the man. It was clear. It was an absolute second yellow, and of course they're able to escape it. He survives the rest of the half. They get him off at halftime. Not like it was pretty easy going for the Reds in the first half, but then
they dominated the opening exchanges like you wouldn't believe. I mean, Wolves couldn't get out of their own half, to be completely fair.
But then in the second half,
Diaz. What I will say about the opening goal, it was for me that commentators were praising Luis Diaz's tenacity and all this kind of shit. And he had to put himself in a position. Fine, Jose Sa should be saving that all day, every day.
Yeah,
he should be holding the ball initially, not patting it against the knee of the on-rushing attacker. He should be holding the ball, or he should be fucking blasting it to fucking midfield.
I'm hearing the fucking Benny Hill music as that ball's going to the net. Dun, 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 like, because it was kind of
comical. Is the Benny Hill music the same as the Curb Your Enthusiasm music? Because I heard the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Perfect.
But it shows a difference in age there,
I heard. Now, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Oh, here we go.
Into the second half.
When you get your Republican voting card.
Into the second half, the...
Yelling at the clouds and shit.
The second penalty that got called back. My question is, why isn't that a yellow card for Jota?
So I've seen...
Clearly a dive.
Well, we've seen referees do that. Because VAR can't review yellow card decisions, right, in and of themselves,
right,
just for the fact that you gave a card, right? They can review them and go, hey, actually, I don't think that was a foul or whatever, and they can rescind a yellow,
right?
And then I guess the result of that would be, well, shit, actually, he dove, so he should have a yellow.
Well, for the player who fouled him, he was on a yellow because he received a yellow because Konate didn't get a yellow. He bitched about it and got a yellow for it.
Yeah, because I think I've seen that before.
Twice in 1 week that happened for Liverpool, where they foul somebody and the guy who bitch about it gets the fucking yellow on the other team.
But I'm pretty sure we've seen that before, right? Where a referee's gone and watched and went, oh shit, that's not a penalty. It's actually a dive.
Yeah.
So the result of the dive
should be a yellow card.
Is a yellow card.
Should have been a yellow
card. Where
card.
It wasn't actually a yellow card decision being process there,
right?
In that issue, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's either a foul or it's a dive.
Right.
It's pretty
I don't know.
clear cut. It's either it's a foul or it's a dive.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure.
If it's not a foul, then it's a dive.
I think the fact that he called a penalty, he should have issued a yellow card to Jota.
Yeah.
But there is contact. The contact, however, is initiated by Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
He was going down prior to.
And by contact, you mean he was already diving.
Slide.
He was already diving, and he like stuck out his leg and went dink, and then on the rest of his leg went,
well, he just left his leg there, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Cunha gets right back at
Lifeline with a lot of time left.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolves actually pinned Liverpool back for a bit.
They really did.
Wolves were on top for, Alisson had to make a couple of saves.
They had chances.
They were fairly routine saves, but Wolves had chances and probably should have drawn. In my opinion, Liverpool were holding on a bit, and ultimately, obviously, they did.
So here's the question I have for you and this coincides with the derby as well. Are the Reds fucking shook?
Shook, I think, is strong. I think this is a bit of a wobble.
Mm-hmm.
I need the wobble to extend 12 days.
We're going to talk about that in injury time. And if somebody wants to find injury time, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing that?
It's really easy, actually. It's patreon.com/DFootballSlow. And just sign up to that $5 tier, and you can catch Injury Time, which is our preview show. You can also get Sound Check, which is us actually checking the sound. Sometimes you hear it, sometimes you don't. But you always get a lot of updates about our personal lives and things we've been up to and fun stuff, like about my kids and how much they hate me.
Hey, Mel, I just want to let you know real quick. I would have, was about to prepare to give you all this shit, except for he said DU football slow.
I said show.
You said slow.
I've got this fucking nicotine pouch in my lip. And it's fucking with my speech.
All right, Mr. Graham, we're almost to an hour already, so we're going to do these next two segments. We're going to do quickly, kind of get them done.
Well, they deserve to be done quick because they didn't make the top two segments.
And also, we wanted to give the right amount of time to the Merseyside Derby. And frankly, I wanted to let you talk about your team now that you were back, because I was very purposely not talking about your team while you were away.
That's fine. Well, real quick, while you mentioned that, I'm going to do a shot on Malort. Obviously, we didn't put it on the line again this year. However, there were 3 losses while I was away, all 3 in cup competitions. I, over the last 2 years, have kind of missed Malort a little bit, because I haven't had to take much.
Okay.
And 6 weeks in, not being here, I am doing a shot of Malort for our cup losses, even though that was not a requirement.
All right.
And here we go. First time ever with some snus in my mouth.
Go for it. Turning our attention to the Champions League spots as clubs in the driver's seat begin to slide and a familiar face finds themselves back in the hunt. Do you miss it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Brighton 3.
It is terrible with this.
Good. Brighton 3, Chelsea 0, Newcastle 4. Manchester City 4, Newcastle 0, Fulham 2, Forest 1. Chelsea have been basically in a free fall since December. They've only gotten 2 wins. They really haven't looked good. And more importantly, Sam, they didn't get a fucking shot on goal in this game.
At all.
Not a single fucking shot on goal. That's got to be angering for Maresca.
100, I'm sure 100% is. But Cole Palmer has been kind of out of form for about a month.
Absolutely would agree.
And if Cole Palmer isn't playing well, this is the rule now. Chelsea plays like shit.
No,
There's
completely right.
Nobody that can pick up those reins at all.
Yeah.
I think we all forget he's still, 20?
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah.
Such a kid.
He's still, I think, 20 years old. So there's the issue of your best player. You're super reliant on this guy, right? I said, related for the point, related back to Arsenal for a second. We miss Odegaard when he was out for 8 weeks more than we've missed Saka.
Right.
Because Odegaard makes us tick. Odegaard, though, is 24 years old, 25 years old. He's an established professional that has been around, and one of the more senior members of our team that has been around, Real Sociedad. He's been around Real Betis. He's been around Real Madrid, obviously, but he's bought at 15 years old and, all that kind of stuff. He's captained his country already.
Right.
All of these various things. But our entire kind of game plan revolves around that player.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Chelsea is their entire game plan is revolving around that same player who played 200 times for Manchester City's youth teams and 80, not even 80, but what, 28, 30 times maybe for the first team.
Right.
And he's played a season at Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. Right. Fair.
It's not the same experience.
Right.
Right. Even Gareth Southgate didn't trust him.
Right.
Right. To start at the Euros, despite being the form player.
Right.
Period. Yeah. Right. He's also daft as fuck. The kid is thick.
We've discussed this.
He's an idiot. So it doesn't surprise me, not one bit. That
Seagulls are getting healthy. They seem to have rebounded from that kind of just really trash a couple of games with Forest and Everton, and Matoma and Minta doing the scoring.
And they need it. Brighton's been on, what was it, one win in the last 5 or something?
Yeah, they were at a point
there was
where
a
they
little
weren't-
bit of a blip in form there.
Where they weren't losing, but they weren't fucking winning either. And there was a lot of games they were drawing where you're like, shouldn't you be winning those? Kind of situation.
But Minta, somebody stepping up to the plate, right? Danny Welbeck early in the season, it was going ham, which was great for him.
And Welbeck gave the assist on both of Minta's goals.
He got injured, and he hasn't been the same since. You've got, Matoma, who scored
in this one,
but scored, kind of important goals throughout the season, but just not regularly. You know what I mean? As you would probably want him to do. I thought all in all, it was a welcome result for Hutzela after the last few. They got bombed out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's a big scalp. It's a team that was kind of seen as overperforming this season,
right?
And looked like they were going to roll. They caught him at a good time, and I think they can use this as a bit of confidence to keep it going.
Agreed. We were talking about him in his first couple of games already, just for being high energy. But welcome to the fucking Prem, Omar Mamouche.
Yeah. Looking hat trick.
The piece they've been missing, because even before that, where he hasn't scored, he's been a good motor. He's been creating lots of space. Yeah. Obviously it's a situation of the rich gets richer, and of course I don't want to get into a whole tangent, but obviously they have won their case with the independent firm that said that perhaps the Premier League is irrational in the way that they're charging people. So that's going to fucking change things. So the rich keep getting richer, and they spend another fucking $200 million to get four players. Get 4 players in the middle of the window. But this guy paid immediate dividends. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well, immediate's a stretch because of the first 2 games while he was here weren't particularly good, especially Wednesday.
He didn't look bad.
No, but correct. Okay, fine. But
he hasn't looked bad. The team has looked
Cities
bad.
still have issues. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair point. I am really surprised at Newcastle in this game.
Right.
I know there's a lot going on. I know there's now a cup final coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm so surprised they didn't come out of the blocks here and really try to do something. City pretty much end to end dominated this game for the most part.
Oh yeah, they did.
Newcastle had some chances, but Ederson, I don't think was called into like a real save, a proper save at all.
His best point was the assist on the first goal.
Also, becomes the joint top assist getting goalkeeper in the Premier League era.
Ah, there we go.
Since 1992 with 6.
Very good. Very good.
But it's all about Marmouche.
Yeah.
And great for James McAtee. Well done. You got a goal, but it didn't matter.
So for Newcastle, they're still in the discussion for Champions League, but losing games like this sure as hell ain't gonna fucking get you there.
Well, but they put 5 past West Ham a couple of weeks ago, 4, whatever it was. They put 4 or 5 past somebody else. FA Cup dominated that game. They were blah 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 running down the line. They only took 3 shots in this game. They only had 1 of those 3 on target. It was and City I think had 63 or 64% possession.
Right.
We've known Newcastle to be either a dominant force, right, or extremely efficient, right? So Eddie Howe is very good at changing his game plan up, right? We're on the front foot, we're going to play this way.
Right.
We're playing Ipswich or Leicester or whoever, right? Southampton. We're going to play this way. We're going to be dominant. They create chances. They get goals, right? When they're playing somebody like us, as we saw in the Carabao Cup, they can stodgy things up and hit us on the break, right? And play a counterattacking style. They can do both things.
Right.
Right? Depending on who they're playing against. Eddie Howe is very good at setting that team up and scouting his opponents and coming up with a bespoke game plan for every game, right?
Right, of course.
And this is a paradox for me because they never got going at all.
No.
It was very, very weird. And I'm not sure if it's the impending cup final. Let's, fucking just go out there and don't get hurt. Like, I don't know what it was that was said in the dressing room. Like, we need to win something or the Saudis are going to chop my arms off. Like, I'm not sure what the issue is.
Allegedly.
Something.
Yeah.
What I don't know. They're not going to come for me, bro. I'm a minuscule nothing.
Still a member of the press.
But
we have press passes to prove it.
Well, for now, it's still free.
Yeah.
Okay? In this country. For now.
So finally,
but my point is, I'm not sure what was different about this game that, and maybe it's just an off day.
Yeah.
Maybe they just had an off day, which is entirely possible. But City weren't anything like spectacular by any means. I didn't think so. I think Newcastle afforded them those spaces.
All right, and finally, it was all Fulham. The scoreline does not say it, but this was all fucking Fulham. It was Fulham, except for Forest does what Forest we now know what Nuno's Forest is going to do. They're going to absorb pressure, and if you make the slightest mistake, they're going to make you fucking pay for it. And that's what they did. They got that 1 goal, but other than that, this game should have been 3-1 at halftime.
At least,
Fulham had all the opportunities.
Well, so Fulham are a lot like. I'm sorry, excuse me. Forest are a lot like Newcastle in the last point I just made. Nuno has been very good this term of bespoking a game plan to fit a specific team.
Right.
Somehow, Marco Silva and Fulham just completely blew that out of the water.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they did it, but they did it. They are a good team, Fulham. They can make you pay, absolutely. But they, typically fall a little bit short, especially goal scoring, whatever it is. They fall a touch short and they finish 8th or 10th or 12th, whatever, right? Or, sometimes they have a bad season and they're relegated. But this was just a phenomenal game plan. And this plays into what I said earlier about Marco Silva. And I think how, kind of him and Arsenal have the same sort of concept of looking past teams. Arsenal is to do with the players. Marco Silva is, it seems like a man with an ego.
Yeah.
So, they drew it home with Southampton. They drew, this was a game that they would draw typically.
Right. Yeah.
Except for Forrester third. So he goes, we can get a headline out of this. That's fucking. And he comes up with a proper, real game plan.
Yeah.
And they actually go out and execute.
I will say what's interesting, though, from this segment that we've discovered now is that. Go ahead. What do you have?
No, I'm sorry.
What was it?
I was going to say, I just saw a pig fly past the window there.
Uh-huh.
Because Mel's got the curtain open. Pig flew by. There was some end product from Adama Traore.
Hey, how about that?
Fucking hell. One of the best crosses of the season.
I would say that now both Chelsea and Forest find themselves closer to not making the Champions League than they do to second place.
100%. Yep.
Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened. Everton 2, Palace 1, Villa 1, Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1, Brentford 1, West Ham 0, Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Palace were the better side. They were absolutely the better side, but Everton
y'all are rolling,
capitalized.
man. Y'all are absolutely rolling.
Everton fucking capitalized, and I think like the ball that went out that could have been a goal from Lerma. Have better fucking cameras set up, dude.
Now that to be honest with you, I thought y'all were the better side until Eze got subbed in.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought y'all carved out the better chances overall. Y'all did more. When Eze came in, it was cling to what we got kind of time.
Right, and then we found a way to get that.
And then you found a way to get the second goal.
Yeah.
But it's just a phenomenal game from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take this moment to reference the fact that in the first 5 games of the Premier League that David Moyes has taken charge of, you all have only gotten 1 point less than Ruben Amorim has gotten at Manchester United in the 14 games that he's been there. 14 points in 14 games. You've gotten 13 points in 5.
Yeah.
You're now up to 13th, leapfrogging Manchester United, who fell to 15th spot.
And until Manchester United and Tottenham played, when we beat them, we were above both of them in the table.
Love it.
So for Palace, kind of hard luck, but it's
Mateta was excellent.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give us the opportunity to fucking have it. And we snatched it. Was it a smash and grab? Yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know that it was a smash and grab. I think a load of the chances that y'all created fell to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
But kids, relatively ugly men, just shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
Like Alcaraz.
Go for it.
Just 14 times shoot your shot. And one of them is bound to find the back of the net. I feel like he had loads of chances. He himself had loads of chances, but he is not Mikel Merino, is he? He's not a goal scorer.
No. I mean, he's new to the team, so he's only been on the club now for 3 matches.
I'm just saying, he finally hit one.
Yeah.
Like in this game alone, I think he had 5 or 6 shots. Which
he took a ton.
Has to be a record for a PR for his career in a single match.
Going on to Villa in Ipswich. The red card really didn't change the match at all. It was all Villa, but the problem is the Tractor Boys played tough as hell. And Villa can't seem to fucking score goals.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
I don't know what it is with Ollie Watkins all of a sudden, but he's not having a good time.
Yeah. He
did finally score in this game, but he's not having a good time. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. It was
him.
Put it
was
off the
him.
post
It
and
was
Watkins
him.
scored the goal. Watkins has been
Morgan
scoring.
Rogers. It was Morgan Rogers had one disallowed.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Watkins has been scoring over the past couple of weeks, but it hasn't been like it's been good goals or decisive goals. It's like right place, right time, and you're like, okay, well maybe this will get him off the bump, and then he misses misses open chances in this game, and when it comes to the red card, like just don't give the ref a fucking decision to make. It was, it's what should have happened to fucking Liverpool and what probably should have happened to Everton during the fucking Merseyside Derby, but it didn't. Like, you made 2 fucking hard enough fouls that are both fucking yellows, and Tanuzabi goes off.
First half especially, Villa were well on top in this game until they hit about 26 yards from goal.
Yeah, and then they couldn't
fucking do anything. It was like they forgot how to play football.
Yeah.
It was really weird. But Ipswich, to their credit, stayed in it, stayed active. Twanzebe, obviously, with the stupid 2 yellows. But overall, they stuck to their task. They stayed organized. It was a good performance from Ipswich, and away from home, especially, something they maybe could build on for the rest of the season. And especially when you have United playing like shit, you could do all of us a favor and get the Red Devils relegated.
I love that. One thing Villa does need to be careful. They could find themselves completely out of Europe if they're not if they don't get the fucking points, and they need to be in some European competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
That has to be the case.
I mean, they sit in fourth currently, I think, right?
No, Villa's like in 8th right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're back there.
Oh,
yeah, they're in 8th right now. Been away for a while, huh?
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with it.
Been a while.
It's been a while. But yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah,
just playing it in my head. Yeah, they need European competition next season, hands down. They really, realistically need Champions League next season,
right?
Not just Europa League kind of stuff. They need to be finishing in 4th or 5th, for sure. But we'll see. There's a lot of football left to be played. As always, a good cup run can keep going. And as of right now, they're still in the Champions League and they're still doing well. So,
right.
Good on them. Good luck.
Cherries are very much in the hunt for the Champions League.
They are.
And right now, you put a gun to my head and said, who do I think one of those last 2 teams are going to be? I'd say fucking Bournemouth. They're not afraid of anybody. They're playing fucking good. Now, granted, this was the trade in your Southampton voucher, but they've been playing everybody fucking tough. They're not scared of anyone.
No.
Anyone at all.
They've got a great system. They're all on form. They're playing well. Just ride the wave as long as you can.
Yeah.
Ride the wave as long as you can. The only thing that bettered Adama Traore's cross for Fulham, for Emil Smith Rowe for that opening goal, was Ryan Christie's cross for Ouattara in this one.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Fucking excellent. What a ball. What a ball. Glancing header obviously matched the cross, found the far corner. Ramsdale doesn't, won't ever deserve any of what's coming his way the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Didn't deserve this either. I've never seen what we have actually seen. It was Derby County in the 11-point season. It was Sheffield United with Ramsdale as a goalkeeper 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was.
I think there were 16 points that season. Yeah.
I've never seen a team phone it in as much as Southampton's phoning it in. I've also never seen a team not receive a new manager bounce at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, until Southampton.
Yeah.
So it's piss poor. It was comprehensive for Bournemouth. They didn't give Southampton any chances. It was 3-0 before they scored.
Yeah.
The game was done and dusted. It was a consolation goal at best.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad down there.
A ugly match between Brentford and West Ham. And the only thing I would say about it is old Areola was hard done. How many times you got to fucking save a ball and your defense can fucking get it out of the fucking... He triple fucking saved it.
Yeah.
And...
For real.
Shot still scored.
It just happened to be the second shot of the 3. Just happened to be, kind of over the line.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Both teams had chances.
Yeah.
West Ham should have scored a couple of times. Kudus, I kind of specifically remember. But... We had a goal ruled out. I mean, Brentford, I would argue, were the better side. I think they had more of the chances.
Winning on the road is very big for Brentford.
Well, this is now their 3rd consecutive road win. I started writing my notes like that, and then I was like, wait a second. I feel like in the last couple of weeks they've gotten a road victory, and I was surprised by it. So I looked the results up.
Because subsequently they've been losing at home lately. Yeah.
Exactly. But there's just something else to build on for them, something else to move forward with.
And after
all in all, it was kind of a shit game, though.
And after James Madison scored, watching paint dry was more entertaining, and it was a professional football match in the Premier League between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United.
Now, I want to draw back to a comment we made earlier about Virgil van Dijk talking. I thought that was a sign of respect. This was a cup final for them because it was. It was the last ever game against your bitter rivals in a stadium that's been around for 130 fucking years or so, roughly.
Yeah,
right?
133, I believe.
So this was a cup final for them, I think, is a bit of a show of respect. This matters to them, to us, for this reason.
Right.
Fine. This was also a cup final. Spurs versus United for a different reason.
Go for it.
United actually won it.
Mm-hmm.
They're officially the shittest team of the traditional Big Six Cup champions. Well done.
Sure money.
So how you been doing, Graham?
Still sucking ass.
Yeah, you haven't hit one yet this entire season,
Nope.
have you?
That's we're working on 2 seasons solid, I think.
Are you gonna do anything just sensible, just to like win a quick 100, so you can be like, "Fuck, at least I won something."
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure are.
Okay,
Do you want it now?
sure, go.
I'll
for
give it to you first.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm down 2,300.
9-way parlay.
Just 6.
Just 6. Okay.
Villa versus Liverpool on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Under 3.5 goals.
Okay.
Brentford to beat Leicester. Come on.
Okay.
Banker. Everton or draw with United on a double chance.
I'm not against that one.
At home. I like it.
I kind of like Everton's chances in that match.
Same. In the post-match press conference, did you see Ruben Amorim? I'm ashamed I didn't mention it when we talked about the game on the 2 sentences we said.
Yeah. Oh.
He just went, yeah, my job's really hard.
All right, continue your bet.
Arsenal to beat West Ham. I think we will. Bournemouth to beat Wolves, obviously. And Brighton to cash in their Southampton voucher and win. That 6-leg parlay gets me on a $100 bet. 1413 in cold hard American dollars. $1,413 bucks.
All right. Well, so both of my games should have been draws because Tottenham never should have scored and it should have been a 0-0 game. And frankly, Forest should have found a second goal and it should have been 2-2 in Fulham and Forest. So I didn't hit, but I'm still up $1,123.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Mr. Graham, I know it's been a while for you and you'd love to hear this. 30.4347826% of the time, it works 100% of the time, killer. And I am going very, very simple. This Wednesday's match, Villa and Liverpool to draw at plus 290. I think
it's a draw as well, but I couldn't bring myself to put all my money on it.
I think Liverpool are a little shook, and we'll talk about it in injury time. They've got a tough run coming up. I think this is where the points start to come back, and I think there's a title race.
I think this game is 1-1, which is why I went for under 3.5.
Good call.
Is to allow for a buffer because something
If it ends up
could
being
happen.
2-1,
yeah,
right.
Something could happen.
You still hit it.
So exactly, but I wanted to put a draw in this game, but I am down $2,300 and needed to fucking do something.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Parting words, Mr. Graham, you kind of hinted at it already. Like, just don't be fucking racist.
Or just don't be a racist. Like, so, Jamie Vardy's a shithouse all the time.
Right.
No one complains. Miles Lewis Skelly does Holland celebrations like, oh, he's doing too much.
Yeah.
Well, he's black. Right? So why are you actually saying that? Because there's a lot of people that do too much.
Right.
And you don't say a word ever.
And Jai did a seagull flap when he scored his penalty and got a yellow card for it. And it's like, and again, Vardy taunts.
All the time.
Vardy at home will run to the visitor section past all of his supporters to go fuck with the other team.
But also, it's not even just that. It's like the Miles Lewis Skelly stuff. Yeah. Holland directly insulted him when he came on against City earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Saying, who the fuck are you? Like after he bumped into him.
Right.
That was widely reported that those words were said. So as a self-respecting person, when I do what I did, I'm going to take the mick out of you.
Yeah. Well, do you know who I am now? I'm doing your celebration.
Goes, take notice of me, motherfucker.
Right.
And like, as fans, again, we like that shit. There's no need. He's not doing it because he's black.
Right.
Like, there's no need to bring race into that situation at all.
Just not necessary.
Just don't be a cunt. Yeah. Right? Just don't be a cunt. You want to be mad at him for doing it? Be mad at him for doing it. but it's not. It's just not because he's black.
Precisely.
That's just not a thing.
All right. Well,
So just stop being racist, and obviously with Decore, it's just stop being racist.
stop being
This is
racist.
really not hard to do.
And no death threats for fucking refs, even if they do make it about themselves.
Except
No
Michael
death
Allen. I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud. Excuse me. No, seriously, no death threats for referees.
All right. Next up is DU Does EFL, where we're going to recap the rest of English football. Then we do Injury Time, which is our preview show for the weekend's action. And should somebody want to support the show, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing it one more time?
Very easy. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier, and you can get all of our extra content. More of us is always a good thing, whether you think so or not. We promise you.
Very good. All right, everybody. Until next week.
Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking good night.